We should be live.
I still can't get over the zombies, my guy.
Yeah, good God
um,
Almighty, zombies. Yeah, what was this? What was this WrestleMania Backlash show? Like people are saying, oh, it's the best, one of the best, if not the best pandemic show yet. I'm like, bro, come on, like, like
yeah,
what?
it's like, I mean, to be fair, the fun thing about this stream, this Elite Heat, is that, I mean, I haven't really talked to you at all in the past like couple of days, really. You've
Right?
been pretty busy. I've been occupied. So what you're going to get in this Elite Heat is like an honest, just shooting the breeze about WrestleMania Backlash, probably roasting and ranting about a couple of things, most notably the Maz, your favorite wrestler, Kevin, getting devoured by a pack of zombies, among other things. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah, that's the Miz. As everyone knows, the Miz is my favorite wrestler. So I can't resist talking about the Miz. CR21 said the Miz looks good in that pic. No homo. Um, I wish I didn't read that. You know, that would be great. Like that's the kind of stuff that we get here on the Elite Heat channel. But I'm
That's
just
great.
flabbergasted by that comment. But nevertheless, do you want to talk about the exciting pre-show before we get to the main card, the good stuff, pal?
Wow, the exciting pre-show, my guy. Wow.
Yeah.
We get Sheamus defending the US title against Ricochet. Now, one thing I was thinking when this was happening, we're gonna fly through this because you guys in chat just generally listening to this back, I don't know how many people really care. It's a kickoff match. I mean, honestly, the kickoff show is JBL and Booker T, and that's legit the only good part of the kickoff show, Kevin. But nonetheless, actually, no, stop this. I'm going to throw this to you. Did you watch this kickoff match, Kevin?
No, I did not. I heard on Twitter that Sheamus had an open challenge, so you know he's stealing the John Cena gimmick, the Cody Rhodes gimmick. Like everybody does this. I mean, since Cena did it. And then Ricochet comes out. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Ricochet's finally being used. He's finally being pushed. Oh my God!" And I don't understand how him answering an open challenge in some jeans and a hoodie equates to a push. Oh, that's his character, pal. He's not wearing tights. He's wearing jeans tonight. Oh,
Oh
oh,
wow.
oh wow. I
Oh
mean,
wow. Oh
he's got his jobber vest to steal a phrase from the old Spark Busters. He's got his jobber vest out there. He marches down, and what did he do? Because WWE is a very topical entertainment company. They're at the forefront of entertainment. Ricochet spoofs the gotcha hat from Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather, and he steals Sheamus's hat after Sheamus beats him in the match. He steals his hat, and now we have a feud between a 41-year-old Irishman and Ricochet over this Irishman's hat. That's what they're so angry over. You know, because WWE is at the forefront of entertainment, pal. I got to remind you, they're at the forefront. They saw this. Some writers saw this Jake Paul Floyd Mayweather thing and was like, "Oh my God, I'll have Ricochet do this. The internet will love it. Ricochet's going to come out. Everybody's going to be tweeting about Ricochet. He hasn't been used. I'm going to look like a genius. Vince is going to love this idea. Oh my God!" And then this is what we get on TV.
yeah, it wasn't good. The match was okay. It's kickoff match that went for like 8 minutes. Is anyone going to remember this yes, tomorrow, the day after, 3 months from now? No, but nonetheless, the match was fine. The post-match stuff, though, I've got to talk about this. I'm sitting on my couch watching this. You've got Ricochet, this guy who, I mean, the internet's begged to be pushed for years now. Oh my God, Ricochet deserves better, Kevin. Push Ricochet, man. Push him. Ricochet can have a great match. He should be in a world title program, man. Like, you've had this going on for years now. So he comes out there wearing jeans and he has a good match, and then he loses, and then he puts on Sheamus's coat and Sheamus's fedora, and then he does a dab. He whips out a dab. He's like, "Oh yeah." Cheeky dab. And it's like, what am I watching? It's probably some 38-year-old writer who got fired from his job at BuzzFeed. Stephanie McMahon's willingly hired this guy who drinks about 7 coffees a day. He's secretly depressed. He's writing this storyline, as you mentioned there, to please Vince, to try and get a raise, get a promotion. This guy writes this angle where Ricochet got your hat, got your coat. I'm gonna do a cheeky dab. I'm gonna get some babyface heat. And it's like, get out of here, dude. Like, the writer of this should be terminated. Ricochet, who honestly cares, Kevin? Who? I mean, fam. Like,
yeah, we spent too long talking about this pre-show, for God's sake. Let's move on.
Save the energy for the MIZ Zombies rant, okay? Let's go.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about the opening match. Very exciting.
Wow.
Not a singles one-on-one match. We had a triple threat match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship.
Oh, wow.
Rhea Ripley versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. I can't believe this, but Rhea Ripley pinned Asuka. I did not see that coming. You know, I thought that, you know, Asuka might win the title back or something. I did not see Rhea Ripley pinning Asuka. It did, you know, never thought it would happen.
So, are you disrespecting my favorite wrestler, Rhea Ripley? Is that what I'm hearing?
Potentially.
That makes me...
Wait. I thought Indy Hartwell was your favorite wrestler. What happened?
Oh, no, I'm getting exposed on stream. I've been caught in 4K. Anyway, this match, we had Charlotte Flair, we had Asuka, we had Rhea Ripley. The thing I want to say about this match, I don't know if you felt the same. I'm watching this, and it went on way too damn long. It went on for like 17 minutes. I'm watching this good match, and it's like a bunch of moves are happening. I'm just sitting there thinking, I don't care. Did you feel the same way, Kevin?
Well, I didn't watch this match, but I watched I watched WrestleMania's review, and I like WrestleMania. I'm not trying to bury WrestleMania. I like his content, but he did this thing where he's like, he does the good, bad, and the very ugly, or however he phrases it.
Yeah.
And he put this match on the good. He said this was a great match. This showcased why Charlotte is the best women's wrestler in WWE, like it or not. But then he said the ending was bad. So it's kind of like a contradiction. So I don't know what to make of it. It's like it's a typical WWE match. The ending sucks, but the in-ring work is good. Like, that's all this was. It was three women that can have a pretty good match.
That's not a WWE match. That's an AEW match. Good match, terrible ending. You've just wrong company, my guy. But nonetheless, this match, as much as I found it hard to care, it was just like, okay, Rhea Ripley's there, so naturally I care as a result. But the rest of this, I wasn't really that invested in. Charlotte Flair came out there wearing, I guess it was like a zebra cow themed attire. I don't even know what the goal of that was, but nonetheless, the ending was weird. You've got Charlotte Flair on the apron, like dying. She's like, you know, she's been kicked on the apron. She's like standing there, and then Rhea just hits a move and pins Asuka. It's like, okay, and now what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she pinned Asuka, and like everybody knew that she was gonna pin Asuka. I know I was joking at the top, but like we all knew going in that Asuka was just in this match because Vince doesn't want to have Rhea Ripley beat Charlotte one-on-one for whatever reason. Like, you might as well just put the belt on Charlotte. It's gonna happen at SummerSlam, right? They're gonna have Charlotte avoid Rhea Ripley or whatever for 2 months, and then, you know, Charlotte's just gonna beat her with the figure 8, and that's it. Call it a day. There goes Rhea Ripley's title run.
But don't you remember that long-term storytelling when Charlotte beat Rhea at WrestleMania 36 and Triple H went on a conference call and said, Rhea's going to get her redemption. Just watch. It's long-term storytelling. Don't you remember that, Kevin? This is immense long-term storytelling in the Raw Women's Division, pal.
I'd be lying if I said I remembered that. I don't know how you remember that. Triple H went on a conference call and said this? Are you serious? No,
after one of the takeovers or something like a year ago, people were like, what's the go with Rhea and Charlotte Flair? And the Triple H was like, oh, there'll be a payoff. Oh, there'll be a payoff. Just you wait. Rhea Ripley's going to do something down the line. And then, yeah, nothing's really happened since. I think that's fair to say. But, you know, all good, Kevin. All good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I guess the next match was the tag team titles, right? Yeah. The Dirty Dogs versus Rey Mysterio. Because, you know, Dominic got attacked beforehand. So it was a 2-on-1 SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Were you shocked when Dominic came out to help his daddy?
Like, I couldn't believe it, my guy. Like, when I was watching that backstage segment where Dominic's, like, crying in the trainer's room, I would never have thought that he would come out and made the save for his father. Who would have guessed that? People in chat, did any of you think that Dominic Mysterio would come out there and save his father, Rey Mysterio? Who would have thought? Kevin, When Dominic walked out there holding his rib, his arm, whatever, I was like, oh my god, long-term storytelling power. Like, Kevin, what did you think when Dominic Mysterio walked out and helped his father Ray?
For me, I had the same reaction of that 10-year-old me had when Batista came out at WrestleMania to face The Undertaker. And I was like hyped up. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. I'm ramped up. Oh, this is shocking. It was similar to when Undertaker's streak ended. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, how could he triumph from this just horrendous attack that Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler just executed on him? How could he triumph from this? But he did. It's amazing that the Mysterios are the first father-son tag team to be father-son tag team to be tag team champions in history. Incredible.
Kevin, this is what bothers me, because we mentioned this in the preview, but if someone told you in 2005 and 2006, when there's that whole Eddie, Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, ladder match for custody of Dominic, when that whole thing was going down, if someone told you in 16 years' time, Rey and Dominic are going to become tag team champions, father-son, at a pay-per-view, you would have thought, oh my God, that sounds amazing. And
absolutely.
You fast forward 16 years and you've got Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, like a C-Tech rip-off D-Generation X lookalikes with 1/10 of the charisma. And the Mysterios just beat them in the second match on the card of a dead pay-per-view after WrestleMania that near enough no one cared about coming in. That's the reality of the situation, Kevin. Just put that in perspective. 16 years ago, you get told, oh my God, Mysterios win tag titles at pay-per-view. And this is the reality. Like, tough.
Yeah, it's a shame. It should feel like a legendary moment, because it is a legendary moment. Rey Mysterio is a legend. Dominic Mysterio is a future legend. And this is a big moment. Like at the Hall of Fame, when JBL is screaming about Rey Mysterio's accolades, he's going to mention this, that he and Dominic won the tag team titles. But WWE is going to portray it like it was this crazy, historical, triumphant feat, like when Daniel Bryan won the world title at WrestleMania 30, or when Kofi Kingston won the world title at WrestleMania 35, or something like that. And it was like you said, it was just the second match on a pay-per-view in front of no fans, in front of a bunch of iPads with people there watching. Like, that's really all this was. Like, nobody cared about Dolph Ziggler or Bobby Roode, aside from a couple weirdos on the internet. Other than that, nobody has cared about Dolph Ziggler since like 2014. So yeah. What happened? This big moment. It should have been bigger than it is, but it's still a great moment regardless.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned like the people on the Thunderdome, like on like the iPads. I need to mention this. I nearly forgot. This opening match, the opening match was the Raw Women's title, Charlotte, Asuka, Rhea. When I'm watching that, I was actually like, rarely, Kevin, do I actively pay attention when I'm watching these matches. Usually, I either don't watch or I'm like kind of just barely watching. With that opening match, I was attentively watching, and I'm looking at what the people on the Thunderdome screens are actually doing. You know how ridiculous some of this stuff looks? It's like these people, when Charlotte Flair hits a regular kick, or when Charlotte Flair's got like a rear chin hold applied, or a chin lock applied on like Rhea Ripley, people are acting as if the Undertaker's streak's just broken in the Thunderdome. Like, that's how people like freaking out, like, oh my God. And they're having like a panic attack. They're freaking out. And I'm like, and then you look at what's happening in the ring, and Charlotte Flair's just in a rest hold to Asuka. And it's like, look, Kevin, to quote you, can you please do your infamous line? Can you do the infamous line?
What is this, bro? What is this?
Like, it's just like, it's not adding up here. Like, if you're going to be in the Thunderdome, I get, oh my God, I get to be on WWE pay-per-view. I get that. That's cool for you. But please, when Charlotte Flair's applying a rear chin hold on Rhea Ripley in the opening match of a dead, basically Monday Night Raw on Sunday night pay-per-view, please don't act as though the Undertaker's streak's just broken because she's applying a chin hold to Rhea Ripley, Kevin. Damn it. Anyway, moving on.
Someone out there clip this. The Elitist buries WWE Thunderdome.
It
You
was,
got
it was like
content.
the first like 2 rows. If anyone wants to go back and watch this, I mean, fair play to you. This is gonna be a fun little 5 minute, excursion for you. Go and watch the opening match of WrestleMania Backlash. The first like 3 to 5 rows of the Thunderdome. Some of their reactions made me want to slam my head into a door. It was just painful, but nonetheless, let's move on with the league hate pal.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. I guess now. Well, do you want to say anything about the Mysterios winning the SmackDown tag titles before we move on to the next match?
A cool moment. Hard to care. Anything else from you before we move on to zombies?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. Another accolade for Rey Mysterio. He's deserving of his accolades. None of his accolades were forced. Good moment for him and Dominic. It's something that WWE is going to cling on to. Michael Cole for the next 15 years is going to remind us that Dominic won a tag team title with Rey Mysterio, so that'll be fun to look forward to.
Oh, God. Oh, Kevin, picturing like 2035 when you've got the commentary team of Adnan Burke and Michael Cole, and Michael Cole's like, Adnan, remember when Dominic Mysterio won became the first ever father-son WWE Tag Team Champions at WrestleMania Backlash 2021. And they're going to mention this next 16 years. Dominic Mysterio's Hall of Fame induction, when Dominic goes in as like a 5-time US champion and a 22-time tag champion, they're going to say this over and over again. JBL's screaming about this. Like, Kevin.
It's too true. Yeah, but all the jokes aside, it's a great moment. But let's move on. We got to talk about this lumberjack match. The Miz versus Damian Priest.
Kevin, you have the 4 here. You have the 4. Literally, get everything off your chest about this match, because everyone in chat, we all know that Kevin is a huge fan of the Miz. Kevin will be watching Miz and Mrs. after this as Miz gets his vasectomy. Kevin is a massive Miz fan. So last night when they did that whole angle with the zombies, Kevin, walk us through how it made you feel.
No, I have to ask this first. The segment with John Morrison in the locker room, when he walked into the locker room and there were zombies there, was that on the pre-show or was that on the main show?
No, that was immediately after the Mysterios won the tag titles. They cut from Ray and Dominic saying God is good as they're walking up the ramp. They cut immediately to Johnny Drip Drip opening a locker room door and 16 zombies being in the locker room. Just to walk you through that.
Oh God! I mean, I saw this on Twitter. I'm getting blown up. People are tagging me in this, and I'm like, okay, something's happening because I'm getting tagged. Something's happening with the Miz with this Miz match. Never in a million years did I think I was gonna open my phone, go on Twitter, and see John Morrison taking a selfie with zombies.
Oh my God!
You could have told me a million things. You could have told me that John Morrison walked into a room and saw like a picture of Chris Benoit on the wall. I would have believed that before a bunch of zombies. I was just in shock. It's just with the Miz, these segments, WWE, they keep trying to outdo themselves. Like, what else are we gonna have the Miz do next? Like, where does it go from here? We had the Miz. He's celebrating with bunnies in the ring at WrestleMania. He's playing finger paints on a multimillionaire rapper's $3 million car. He's reading storybooks to AJ Styles. He's got fat midget Drew McIntyre getting in a rap battle with Gilbert. Where do we go next with these ridiculous Miz segments? Like, what is the ceiling? Is it ever gonna come to an end? What are we gonna have next at Hell in a Cell? Is the Miz gonna get thrown off the Hell in a Cell and land into a dumpster or something? Like, what is he gonna teleport? Are we gonna get the Miz teleporting from the top of the Hell in a Cell into the backstage, and he's gonna be like, "Oh my God, what just happened? Oh, what? How did I get here? He's gonna be in space? We're gonna get the Miz in rocket ships? We're gonna get him on the moon? He's gonna be on the moon? What is next? He gets eaten by zombies? I get Damian Priest is in the match. I get it. Damian Priest, he could be on the pre-show. He could be getting the Keith Lee treatment. So I'm grateful that Damian Priest had a spot on the card with the Miz. As much as I hate to admit that, but I'm grateful for it. But then they could have just have a regular match where Damian Priest beats up the Miz like the jobber he is, beats him up in 3 minutes, and we just move on with our day. No, we can't just move on with our day. We have zombies chasing John Morrison and the Miz, not CGI zombies. You know, on the throwback SmackDown, we got a CGI fist. We couldn't even get the real fist. But, you know, we got real people dressed up like zombies at WrestleMania Backlash. You know, God forbid we can't get CGI zombies. We got real people dressed up as zombies eating the Miz and Morrison. Like, what? As I'm saying this, it just sounds ridiculous. Like, what is this? What am I watching? Who is paying for this? What person out there is going, all right, I got to go on www.peacock.tv because I just saw this GIF on WWE's Twitter of the Miz getting eaten by zombies, and it's signing up for Peacock, and it's giving Peacock $9.99 to watch this. Who? Find me one person that's subscribed to Peacock after seeing the Miz get eaten by zombies. Somebody. People keep telling me, oh, he's a mainstream star. He's a draw. He's this. He's that. Where? Where are the numbers? Where is it? Show me this. Somebody. Like, John Morrison deserves better. Get John Morrison away from this guy. For the love of God. Can we get John Morrison to do anything with this guy? He's being wasted. John Morrison has a talent to be a United States champion at best or at worst. And what he's doing is taking selfies with men dressed up as zombies. That's what we're doing with John Morrison. I don't understand. I just
Yeah. Look, when I'm watching this, you know, there are a few points as a wrestling fan where you genuinely wonder, why do I do this? You know, like watching Roman Reigns make his entrance is like a saving grace, and watching the Tribal Chief, you know, be him is like the best part of this show and just this company. But when you're watching Mike Mizanin, as you've infamously described many a time, Kevin, a 41-year-old D-list reality TV star, straight to bargain bin, like movie maker, you know, actor, you see this guy and he's out there, and you've got Damian Priest, who should be in like main event, you know, contention at least, considering how bad Raw's roster is. You've got The Miz out there, and they're at ringside. They're fighting off zombies. And the only thing I'll give this credit for is that WWE actually made the production of this look okay. If AEW tried this, it would look like a ninth grade production. So I thought WWE did a good job with executing this as just brain dead as what they were going for was. Personally, I don't get why this couldn't have been saved for the horror show at Extreme Rules, which is probably going to be in October now. Because as we'll talk about in a minute, Hell in a Cell is now in June. But nonetheless, this was strange. It was weird. It was like, okay, you want to promote Batista's new movie. Wonderful. Getting good with Batista. Okay, great. Is there a need to have Mike Mizanin punching some performance center trainee who Bruce Pritchard's yelled at earlier in the day to put zombie makeup on for 5 minutes, and then Damian Priest just pins him and wins? And then we get a bunch of zombies congregating on the ring and just engulfing The Miz. Kevin, your favorite wrestler, the guy who tonight on Miz and Mrs. is getting a vasectomy. This guy got congregated upon and devoured by 16 zombies, pal. Or 16, 20. I didn't count. A bunch of zombies are eating The Miz.
Unbelievable.
And people wonder why wrestling's as uncool as it's ever been. People wonder why wrestling's in the dumpster. People wonder why I don't even mention that I do, like, when people ask about my YouTube channel, I don't even mention it's a wrestling one, because stuff like this is just that embarrassing, Kevin. I can't do it. Just stuff like this is just, it kills your passion for everything. I swear.
It's absolutely, you say killed passion. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. I mean, I'm looking at this, and I know it's something with The Miz because my notifications are blowing up. And I'm still in shock that we have zombies eating The Miz. And amongst these zombies is a future WWE champion, right? Like that's the reality of this. In 7 years, somebody in that just ate The Miz is going to be main eventing WrestleMania 30 or 44. And it's like, wow, like that's where you get your start. Imagine you're like a 25-year-old wrestler. You've been on the indie scene. You've been wrestling for like $10 and a hot dog in like the middle of nowhere in the Midwest United States. And then you get a call one day from Vince, and he's like, "Oh, pal, you're gonna be a zombie, and you're gonna eat Mike Mizanin." Like that would just be deflating, you know. It really would be like that. I mean, come on, like what is it? What is like what is this trying to do? You're promoting Batista's movie. Who is gonna go watch Batista's movie after watching a 41-year-old failed reality TV star get engulfed by grown adult men dressed up as zombies?
Yeah, like who watched that and thought, I want to go watch Army of the Dead or whatever the movie's called? Like, I saw that and thought, I don't even want to have anything to do with Army of the Dead. That movie can just get the Chris Benoit treatment, in my opinion. I want nothing to do with that movie. I don't want to see that movie. I don't want to think about that movie, because the presentation WWE gave us was here's 18 Performance Center indie trainees, one of which will probably be WWE champion within a decade, eating Mike Mizanin in the middle of a pay-per-view. Like, what? What? Get out of here! Like,
God, it's unbelievable. And where do we go from here? Where? Like, what is the ceiling for these Miz segments? We're going on what, a year that these Miz segments have been going on? With like, it started with the slime and with John Morrison and the Miz like playing hide and seek from Braun Strowman. Like, that was the start of this, right?
Well, basically, yeah. I mean, that was a start. But one thing I've got to say, Kevin, 2 months ago, this guy was WWE champion, Kevin. Like, what?
Yeah, he was WWE champion. He's the biggest joke of a WWE champion. He's a jobber. He got squashed on Raw. He's such a joke of a champion that he couldn't even get beat on a pay-per-view. Bobby Lashley beat him in like 75 seconds on a match on Raw. That's bro.
That's a joke. That's a joke. Honestly, in my opinion, I want to give this Miz, Damian Priest, John Morrison, Zombies, WrestleMania Backlash thing going forward. I want this to get the Chris Benoit treatment. I want this to be treated as though it's the WrestleMania Miz and Morrison Bunnies entrance. I don't want this mentioned. I don't want this shown, spoken of in the Elite Heat world. If you mention this in the chat, we may have to ban you. This is something which, Kevin, we're not going to tolerate. This is the bottom of the barrel. You bring up the Miz and the Zombies at WrestleMania Backlash, you're getting banned. If we see CR21 spamming about this in the chat, you're getting blocked, my guy. We're not having this. This is just not on. Okay, it's not on.
It's it's amazing. It really is. I mean, I think we've said enough about this.
Yep. I'm pretty much.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassment to wrestling. I just, my question is, where do we go? And I don't want that. I know that question is going to be answered in the next 6 to 10 months, but there's going to be a point where people are going to get sick of these segments, and it's going to turn off the people that like the Miz at some point, because even Miz still has a ton of fans, and it's going to get to the point where people are like, I can't do this anymore with these Miz segments. It's not funny. It's not funny anymore. Like, how much can he live off this reputation from that 2016 to 18 run that people cling to that are Miz fans when he's doing this nonsense? Like, I'm stepping away from how I feel about him, but looking at it from a different perspective. If you're a Miz fan, do you like this stuff? Like, I don't know. No, nobody likes this, you know? So yeah, I guess we'll leave it that. On to the next match.
Yeah, next match we got Bianca Belair against Bayley. Honestly, with this one, look, I guess we can probably get a conversation out of it, but it went for 16 minutes. It was a good match. I guess one thing I'll mention, I saw people on Twitter saying, oh my God, Bayley's so irrelevant right now. I'm just like, she had a 16-minute long women's title match at a pay-per-view. Like, what do you constitute as irrelevant, like, fam? Like, I don't know. But outside of that, which is just a classic wrestling Twitter little thing that makes you go, like, what? Like, outside of that, this match, the actual match itself, Belair and Bayley, 6 to 8 minutes long. The ending, they have Belair's hair get involved in the pinfall, and Belair's pinning Bayley with a hair, Kevin. And then at, like, the 2 count, it gets botched, and then she tries to grab her hair again, and then Bayley just gets pinned anyway. It was just a bit of a mess at the ending. But yeah, any thoughts on Belair and Bayley, my guy?
I thought it was good. It was a good match. You know, it was fine. Like it was just an average wrestling match. Like it was nothing terrible. It wasn't great. It was just there, and I guess that's kind of a problem. I mean, they had to follow Mike Mazan and John Morrison getting eaten by zombies, so they really like nobody cared. You couldn't pay anybody to care about this match just by the nature of them having to follow this Army of the Dead promotion. So they were kind of in a bad spot. You know, people at this point, people just wanted the pay-per-view to end. You know, they just wanted to get to Lashley and they wanted to get to Roman and Cesaro, and this match just got lost in the shuffle, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could have followed that Army of the Dead zombie promotion segment with literally Santino, Natalia, Great Khali, and the Muppets, and it would have been an improvement. That's how all-time bad that Army of the Dead zombie thing was. But nonetheless, unless there's anything else you want to say about the SmackDown Women's title, I guess we can move on to our legit like main events, which I want to talk about the WWE title, unless you have anything else to say here.
Yeah, let's talk about the WWE title. Let's do it.
I love this. This match, it was 14 minutes of these three heavyweights beating the crap out of each other. The action was fast-paced, which I really enjoyed. Lashley, Strowman, Drew McIntyre, WWE title. I thought, as dead and non-existent as the build was to this on Raw, I thought they did the match about as well as they could have. I really enjoyed it, Kevin. Now, what do you think, generally?
I thought it was really good. I mean, I was expecting it to be good, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. It's one of the better matches of 2021, from at least a WWE perspective. Lashley and McIntyre, we already know they have great chemistry. So the Braun Strowman was a bit of a wild card, and I thought he worked well with both guys. And Lashley as WWE champion has been good so far. You know, what can I say? I mean, he pinned Braun Strowman. I'm not shocked by that. At some point, it's starting to feel like McIntyre is going to win the belt back at SummerSlam. It's starting to feel that way. They're going to have a full crowd, I guess. Probably that's the rumor. They're going to have a full crowd at SummerSlam, so McIntyre will probably win the belt back then.
Yeah.
But this was good. This was like a good holdover match. It was really good. There's not really much more I can say. There's three badasses beating each other up. Like, that's what we watch wrestling for, you know? I personally think they could have done Lashley and Strowman as a one-on-one match. That would have been a bit more of a spectacle, having those two big, larger-than-life beasts meeting for the first time, to my knowledge. And it could have been really good. I would like to see what those two could do on their own, honestly. But what we got, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think Lashley and Strowman, that they need to do that eventually. It's just, when I was watching this match, like, I can't mention this, I alluded to this before, but like few matches, I'm attentively watching start to finish. And this match, I watched the whole thing, I was engaged and captivated by everything because, for one, this is three guys who are well and truly larger than life. They're guys who don't look like you and me, Kevin. They're these big monsters who they're so rare nowadays. That watching these three beasts who weigh a combined 900 plus pounds, they kept saying, these three guys, some of the stuff they did, like, I mean, the Drew McIntyre Lashley LED board spot, it's not the first time we've ever seen in wrestling, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought the spot where Strowman did his choo-choo train run around ringside, McIntyre proceeds to do like a belly to belly, and Strowman lands like on his neck on the floor. I mean, outside of the fact that nearly paralyzed Braun Strowman, that was a cool spot. And then the spot where Drew McIntyre went for a Claymore at ringside, Strowman grabs him, power bombs him through the table. I thought that was really good. And also, quick shout out here, Corey Graves' commentary during this, I genuinely thought was really good. Like, he was selling this really well. Adnan Burke and Byron Saxton were doing nothing. They was barely speaking here. And everything they were contributing was stupid. But Corey Graves was actually making this feel good. So, shout out to Corey Graves. He enhanced this match on commentary. Big ups to you. Byron Saxton, you're doing a terrible job on commentary. And the match itself, really good. So, yeah, any other words, Kevin?
I got to say this about Braun Strowman. I think if Braun Strowman was used properly over the last, 4 to 5 years, he could have been a big deal. Like, this was Braun Strowman at his best. Right? Like, wouldn't you agree? He could have been something more than what he is. Like, it's hard to take him serious in these WWE title matches because of what a joke he's been since 2016. But I mean, I thought he was good. You know, he's one of those guys. He's kind of like a utility guy. You could plug and play him when needed, and he could be good, right? Yeah. Like you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, Braun's best in these multi big man matches. You know, the SummerSlam 2017 one where it was Reigns, Joe, Brock, and Strowman, and like this match at WrestleMania Backlash. Like when there's like 3 or more of these like big guys, and it's one of these matches, Braun Strowman is perfect. But when it comes to just either one-on-one matches or just him on weekly TV, WWE, as you say there, Kevin, made a mess of him. He could have been a legit like big star. Like 2017, Braun was nothing to joke about. Like I know last year with the slime and calling him the white trash redneck hick, and he became a bit of a joke, and he's been a bit of a meme ever since. But I mean, this guy had potential to be like legit, like a massive star. But oh well, WWE doing what they do best, pal. Got to ruin his momentum.
Yeah, I mean, they sacrificed him. I don't want to go too long on Strowman, but they sacrificed his momentum, to keep building Brock Lesnar's legacy and Roman Reigns' legacy, and it just wasn't necessary. Those guys are already made guys; they didn't really need it. But when Strowman is put in the right position, he delivers. But yeah, I mean, it's main event time.
Yeah, let's go. Legit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you go.
All right, so I'll say this about this Roman Reigns Cesaro match. I'll say off the top, I liked it a lot more than you did. I liked the match. I hated the ending. I'll save it, but I just hated the ending. But the match itself, I liked. It was a little bit too long for my taste. I got kind of bored in the middle. Like I was kind of like trying to, I wanted them to wrap it up. But it was good for what we got. The only problem is it's hard to take Cesaro serious. Like there's only so much that Roman Reigns can do. And there's only so much he can sell a guy and make a guy. But at the same time, he plucked Jey Uso from being, a relevant guy hosting karaoke to main event player. So he did the same with Cesaro to an extent, because Cesaro is not half the character, not even a half. He's not a quarter of the character and mic worker that Jey Uso is. So props to him. But I thought they had a good match. In all fairness, I really did. I liked it.
Okay, well, what you said before, like implying that I didn't like the match, Kevin, we even spoken about this. For all you know, I thought the match was better than Taker and Michaels at 25. Personally, I thought the match was
on.
What? Kevin, come on.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. No, I thought the match was good. Now when it comes to the Reigns and Cesaro dynamic, that's where I have a bit of an issue. So Roman Reigns, let's just run through the whole build. I thought was okay. The video package summed it up really well, and as we always say, Kevin, the video packages at WWE pay-per-views are so good that you don't have to watch any of the TV shows, and you're still fully caught up by the time you see the match. Which shout out to WWE on that. I barely watched the build of WrestleMania Backlash, and I was fully filled in, so that's cool. When it comes to the match itself, Kevin, you have the tribal god, face of the company, best wrestler in the world, bar none, no debate, Roman Reigns, at the height of his like apex, in his prime. He's coming out. He's got his new theme song. Heyman's there. He says to Jey Uso, "You stay in the back. I don't need no right-hand man for this, Us." He makes him stay in the back. Reigns comes out. It's awesome. And you got Claudio Castagnoli just out there just to be there. Like the match was really, personally, I enjoyed the match. But it's just trying to buy Cesaro is so difficult for me. Like Reigns can make guys like Cesaro, just mid-carders, seem legitimate. Guys like Cesaro who have such clear gaping flaws, aka microphone-itis, shout out to J Rance. Cesaro has microphone-itis, but even then, Roman Reigns is that good that he makes Cesaro compelling, But
right.
This match, I enjoyed it. Ending, I'll throw this to you, Kevin. What'd you think of the ending, honestly?
I hated it. I really did. I could not. I couldn't hate it ending more than I hated this. I could not believe that WWE ended a pay-per-view with Seth Rollins beating up Cesaro. I was literally in shock. When Rollins came out, I thought we were going to get the Reigns and Rollins stare down, and that's how the show was going to go off the air. And then when he started attacking Cesaro, I was like, something's going to happen. Like Reigns is going to attack Rollins. Somebody's going to come out. Like there's going to be more to this ending. And it literally just goes off the air with Rollins smiling at the camera, wearing his SmackDown themed suit. So that's long-term storytelling. Seth Rollins wore a suit with yellow and blue on it. So that means, we're going to get Rollins versus Reigns at SummerSlam. Oh, wow.
God.
I could not stand the ending like that. You got Roman Reigns, the best wrestler in the world, and you end the show with Cesaro getting beat up by Seth Rollins. Like, why? Did anybody care about Rollins and Cesaro after WrestleMania? Like, yeah, it was a good moment. We got the NFT moment of the year with Cesaro doing the airplane to Seth Rollins with no hands. Okay, awesome. Great. Cesaro's strong. I know. John Cena told me Cesaro was strong like 6 years ago when he said that Cesaro could squat more than him. Okay, that's awesome. But nobody cared after WrestleMania. Why? Like, why is this an ending? I don't understand. This freaking cult leader is wearing a white suit jacket and with yellow and orange paint on it, beating up a bald Swiss man. What is this? You got Roman Reigns. He walks out of the camera. Why is Roman Reigns? Why are they not ending the show with Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso? I don't get it. They brought Jimmy Uso back for nothing. I don't know. I was confused.
Look, the match itself, 27 minutes, I think it went. Like, really good match. I don't think anyone thought that this would be a bad match. And they do the ending. Reigns gets the guillotine in on Cesaro. Cesaro's in it for like a minute and a half. He fights up, and then Reigns just beats him. That bit, cool. You made Cesaro look strong in that bit. Reigns wins, as he should have always, and that kind of stuff happens. And then what you talk about there, Kevin, with the drip god Seth Rollins coming out there, they did the face-off with Reigns, and you thought, okay, they're going to end the pay-per-view. And the cameras kept rolling for like 2 minutes, and it was Seth Rollins, a.k.a. the man's man at ringside, putting Cesaro's arm in a chair and being like, guys, I'm going to break his arm, guys. And then he like stomps on the chair. And then he like throws Cesaro into the ring post. And it's like, oh, Cesaro had his right arm and right bicep worked on by Reigns for 20 minutes. Now Rollins is stomping it in a chair. Oh, wow. I can't wait to watch Rollins and Cesaro part 5 on SmackDown this week, Kevin. Like, it was weak. It was a weak ending. I personally, I like where they're going with Reigns and Jimmy Uso. They're clearly doing that for Hell in a Cell, which I think that's going to be amazing. But the stuff with Rollins and Cesaro, it's hard to invest in Cesaro when he can't represent himself on the microphone. He can't present himself well enough for me to care. That's just, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's why Cesaro isn't, the next Jey Uso, just a guy that was plucked from irrelevancy and put in the main event scene. Because he can't, like I said, he's not he's not even a quarter of the mic worker and character that Jey Uso is. So there's only so much you could do with Cesaro. For a filler pay-per-view, that we're gonna forget about in 7 to 10 months, we're not even gonna know one match from this card. I thought it was a fine main event. I like the spot with the guillotine where Cesaro got out of the guillotine. I thought that was cool. You could argue they could protect Roman's finisher better. The guillotine, they could protect it a little bit better, but I mean, it's wrestling after all. Finishing moves get kicked out of. You got guys on Wednesday night kicking out of the tombstone. So, what have you.
But the tombstone's done in Japan as well, Kevin. But anyway. Yeah, look, honestly, I reckon give it a couple of weeks and we're going to see that same guillotine spot recreated in a Young Bucks match. I can see it now, but nonetheless, yeah, personally, to close this kind of Backlash Super Show out, Backlash is a show. The zombies thing was one of the worst things I've ever seen in wrestling. That is, yeah, that's up there with the injections. That's up there with all these like all-time bad segments. When it comes to the rest of the show, a bunch of just predictable matches. Most people got every prediction right on this show, which, I mean, fair play to you. Shout out JT Dangerously. Keep predicting, my guy. But yeah, just generally okay to good show. Main event was good. The triple threat match was WWE title. That's going to be the match I remember most fondly from this show. I thought that match was just amazing, and then the rest of the show was mid.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give this show like a 4 out of 10. At best, like that's fine.
I saw people giving this an 8. Like
I don't know what they were watching. They must have been watching something else. I must have watched something else.
If they're watching Backlash 2008, then fair play. But WrestleMania Backlash featuring zombies, you're going to give a show with that Army of the Dead zombie promotion above like a 5? Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't. You have zombies. You have matches that had little interest. The triple threat WWE title match was great. People are going to remember that for maybe a year. People will remember that. But there's nothing really memorable on this. The most memorable moment from this show will honestly be Rey Mysterio and Dominic winning the tag team titles. and it's gonna be something that people look back on as like, wait, that happened. They beat Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode tag team champions. Like that's gonna be the reaction in like 5 years. You know, it's not gonna be like, oh my god, that was such a great moment. Whatever, we already talked about it, but it was, overall, I would say overall a pretty forgettable pay-per-view. That's probably the best way to sum it up.
Yeah, one of these shows that WWE, they got through it because they had to. You know, this is that post-WrestleMania pay-per-view on the calendar, which usually contains a bunch of WrestleMania rematches. This one, it wasn't exactly WrestleMania rematches, but it was just the storylines from Fastlane and WrestleMania carried through. So hopefully going forward, something fresh happens in the Hell in a Cell, which this is something I want to talk about really quickly, Kevin. Hell in a Cell is happening in June.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Like,
okay, great. I don't know. I don't really care, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't. That's great. Hell in a Cell's happening in June. People get so defensive, like it's the worst thing ever. I don't see the problem. I don't get what the problem is. It's just they moved it up 4 months.
Yeah. Like when they announced it, it's one of these things where it's like, it's not like, oh my God, how dare they? I'm going to throw a pitchfork at WWE headquarters. But it's one of these things where it's like, oh, okay, interesting. I think what they're going to do is probably, I guess, Reigns versus Jimmy Uso in like an I Quit match maybe or something like that. Because I guess they did Reigns and Jay at Hell in a Cell last year. They're going to do Reigns and Jimmy this year, I guess, potentially. So that's cool. They'll probably do Rollins versus Cesaro Part 7 at Hell in a Cell, I guess. Cool.
We'll get another NFT moment with Cesaro, throwing Rollins like through the cell door or something like that.
Yeah. And they're probably going to have about 3 more Hell in a Cell match. We'll probably get Drew versus Lashley inside the cell, and then Baron Corbin will be under the ring and he'll get out there and he'll beat up McIntyre, and then Lashley will win in a screw
Don't
job.
put that into existence. Oh no.
Well, where's Baron Corbin been? I mean, people in chat, last time we saw Baron Corbin was what? A promo the week before Mania, was it? Like
hopefully he retired, bro.
My guy, he's out there wearing Kansas City Chiefs jerseys, having barbecues and tweeting at random people. Like that's Baron Corbin.
Yeah, let him keep doing that. But before we get out of here, though, I want to do like 5 minutes on AEW.
Go on then.
We haven't talked about this, so I want to talk to you about the Young Bucks thing. What did you think about that, where they mimicked the whole Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair thing?
Well, it wasn't. I didn't really hate that specific bit. I hated the match. I thought the match itself was terrible because you've got this match where the Young Bucks, who are the EVPs, are defending their tag team titles in this big match against SCU to retire or break up SCU. And it doesn't even open or close the show. It goes on like 30 minutes into the show, and you've got Moxley versus some guy from Japan who's 53 opening the show. Anyway, the match itself featuring, was it Christopher Daniels, or like the botched blade job where you could see the blade on the floor. You've got that spot, which you mentioned there, Kevin, where you've got Matt Jackson or Nick Jackson, whichever one's the less flabby one. You have that guy be like, I'm sorry, I love you. It's like, these people, they're parodies of wrestlers. They're some of the most insecure people I've ever seen. That's my thoughts on it. What do you think?
I was watching it and I was thinking first, why? Like, I get it. You want to make your friend Christopher Daniels to go out on a high note, but why did you put it in the middle of the card? It just didn't make any sense. Like, come on. This is what I don't get about the Young Bucks. They want to make themselves important, but they don't want to make themselves important at the same time.
Yeah.
They have like the Cody syndrome, where they're the main event of the show, but they don't have the world title. They got the most important story. You know what I mean? And then
don't even start on Cody, my guy. Don't even.
Yeah, that's the next thing I want to ask you about.
Oh, my guy.
That's but I'm watching this. Okay, cool. You guys, you wear Jordans. That's great. Awesome. You have money to spend on Jordans. Okay. That's not a character. That's not a gimmick. And people are going to say, oh, they're heels. You're getting worked by heels, bro. That's what heels do. I don't hate them because they have Jordans. I have Jordans. Millions of people around the world have Jordans. What is the big deal about them wearing Jordans? And okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, no. Like, I guess their character is that they're parodies of wrestlers. I guess is that I don't know.
Yeah, they're entering like go away heat at this point. I think even AEW fans are getting sick of them. Like, there's those few people that will say everything that AEW does is good. God bless them. But outside of those people, I think everyone in the wrestling community is tired of the Young Bucks. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Yeah, I always nothing them, but after like the past like couple months, and it's not because of their great heel work. It's just generally like seeing how they carry themselves, be that on social media, be that just generally on wrestling TV or just in interviews. And it's just like if these are the EVPs of a wrestling promotion, this promotion has no chance of truly succeeding. That's the fact of the matter. So that's them. And speaking of EVPs,
wait, let me say this real quick too.
Let's go.
The Young Bucks, they make fun of the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moment, but God forbid somebody on the indie scene makes fun of like a Young Bucks match from like 7 years ago that they had in Ring of Honor with the Lucha Bros. The Young Bucks are going to block them. They're going to tweet about how they're horrible people. They're going to send all their fans on them. They're going to act all sensitive, but it's cool when they do it. And it's just, I don't know. There's something about them rubs me the wrong way. But yeah,
insecurity, Kevin. That's exactly what it is there. But yeah, speaking of insecurity, I want to talk about Martin Luther Cody Rhodes. Kind of impassioned political, I guess. I don't even know how to describe this promo. He's going on about having a biracial, multi-race child with his beautiful, loving wife, and Anthony Ogogo is living the American dream, even though he's from Britain. And what do you think of this? Like, honestly,
I was so confused. First of all, I was like, Cody was talking like him and Anthony Ogogo. They've had like a 3 pay-per-view, 3-4 month long storyline that was super personal. Right? Yeah. Like, that's like, if you took somebody that's never watched AEW and you showed them that Cody promo, so they're gonna ask you like, why does he hate this Anthony Ogogo guy so much? What happened? And then what are you gonna tell him? Oh, Anthony Ogogo did a freestyle rap on him a couple weeks ago. Oh, the night, QT Marshall and Anthony Ogogo beat up Dustin Rhodes like 6 weeks ago on an episode of Dark on YouTube. Like, how do you justify this promo? For me, what I took it as was Cody was auditioning for his run for politics that he's going to do once AEW gets bought by WWE in 3 years. That's what I took it as personally. He's just auditioning for the 2024 election, whatever he's going for, whether it's the mayor of Atlanta or governor of Georgia or whatever the hell he's going for. He's just auditioning for politics. That's the way I took it as.
Well, Kevin, like legit, what caused this promo was Ogogo punching Cody in the stomach once. And then after Cody got beaten up, Ogogo put a UK Union Jack flag on Cody. And then Cody, as a result, in like the 20-minute mark of this show, is standing in the ring, legitimately crying, cutting a promo about the race of his own son and race relations. And like, I'm watching this going, if this was, some empowered, powerful, if this was Nelson Mandela speaking in front of 50,000 people at like a rally, way back when, or this is Martin Luther King empowering like the masses in the 60s. If that's something like that, and you've got hundreds of thousands of people in the streets chanting Cody, Cody, then that works. But the fact of the matter is, you've got this 36-year-old man in the middle of the ring crying because of a match against Anthony Ogogo, a double or nothing that's going to go probably second or third on the card. He's crying in the ring over this match. And it's like, does anyone care? Is there a need for this? Like, you're not Nelson Mandela. You're Cody Rhodes. Please stop.
I could not believe it. I couldn't. I was watching this live. Did you watch it live, or did you catch a clip of it?
I watched this live. It was unreal. Like,
I'm watching this unfold. I'm like, what in the hell is he talking about? What is going on? What is like? Did I accidentally press on like Fox News? Am I watching CNN? Am I watching like BuzzFeed, Vice TV? What the hell am I watching right now? It was God. And then he's like you said, he's crying about the race of his son. or I'm sorry, of his daughter, his future daughter, and I'm like, bruh, okay, like, what do you do? Like, what do you want? Do you want a cookie? Like, what is going
How are
on?
we supposed to react to that? Like, what are we supposed to feel as viewers? Yes, Cody Rhodes. It's like the people in attendance during this, as I mentioned before, the promo itself, you would have thought there were 60,000 people lining the streets chanting Cody, Cody. you got about 500 neckbeards at Daly's place, and none of them are really reacting. Well done, Cody. You've done a great job at engaging your audience. Like stuff like that just alienates the audience. It's apparently alienated the AW EVPs because apparently they're hardly on speaking terms, reportedly. So it's doing a great job. It's really promos like that, Kevin, are really helping AEW get over. You know, just
Oh yeah, go. Let's talk about that too for a second. Are you shocked that the EVPs aren't talking to each other? I mean, this is what happens when you take a bunch of wrestlers who are egomaniacs like Cody, the Bucks, and Kenny are, and they all have different philosophies, and they all think they're all right, and you put them all in the same room, and you're like, all right, you guys are going to collectively run the company. I mean, the buddy friendship that they had when they were in Ring of Honor and they were in New Japan, you know, writing TV shows. I mean, not writing TV shows, riding up and down towns, filming a YouTube show, and just having good matches on the indie scene and going out to eat afterwards. That's fun in games and awesome. But when you put like millions of dollars on the line, you got to hit ratings and you got to build characters. Like that changes everything. I'm not shocked, honestly.
well, apparently, which this doesn't surprise me at all. Apparently, a lot of wrestling journalists, wrestling websites were quote unquote scared to report on this. Surprise, surprise. It's on these things where like it's just it goes to show you. I mean, the point you make there is bang on the money about just the people involved. Like, is this really surprising? Like, you have Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Young Bucks we just spoke about is some of those insecure people in the wrestling business as a whole. You've got Kenny Omega, whose character is that he's a good wrestler. That's legitimately his character. And then you've got, yeah, go on.
He's probably the best one though. You know, behind the scenes. Like if I imagine myself, if I was in AEW, I would probably want to run my ideas by Kenny Omega. I probably would not want to talk to Cody or the Young Bucks.
God no.
You know?
God no, because Cody thinks he's Martin Luther King apparently, and the Young Bucks are like all insecure. And I guess you got Kenny Omega out there watching Naruto and making the AEW video game, which is apparently still in the works, and Tony Khan's just there, on the phone to Dave Meltzer. And that's like the senior executives in the promotion, like Dustin Rhodes and Kenny Omega, would be the best ones to talk to. Like
absolutely.
Dude. What a promotion it is. Like
it is. And that's maybe like hopefully Tony Khan has the intuition and the I'm sure he has the grit to do it. Like he's not afraid to put these guys in their place. But I hope he can see what's happening if it's backstage and maybe he needs to make some changes because realistically, all those guys' contracts they end in 2 more years, I believe. They all signed 5-year deals. Kenny, the Bucks, and Cody. What are you gonna do in 5 years if Cody's like, all right, bro, I'm gonna go try to be a politician, and Kenny's like, yeah, I'm too old. I'm gonna go make video games, and then the Young Bucks are like, oh, we want all this money, or we're gonna go to WWE and wrestle tag team matches in NXT. And what happens to AEW realistically if that happens?
I mean, company screwed, I guess, because if that's the case, 5 years from now, we'll be getting the rise and fall of AEW documentaries on Peacock. Like, the one thing I want to talk about as well, just to quickly mention this, Dynamite's viewership this past week, 936,000 viewers. So, at this point, I think we're seeing that AEW, when NXT was going against it, and they were consistently dealing with NXT, they were drawing what, Kevin? 700 to 850-ish? Now They're getting basically low 900s. Okay, because the initial buzz of, oh my God, they're going unopposed on Wednesdays. Oh my God, Chris Jericho was on Austin's Broken Skull sessions. Oh my God, Mike Tyson, OMG, Blood and Guts. All that's kind of gone away now. And they're getting about 900,000, tiny bit over. And it's like, this is their audience.
What happened was all the people that watched NXT religiously and never even really thought about AEW, they tune in and they see QT Marshall attacking Cody and Cody crying and pregnant Brandy Rhodes crying. and they're like, I don't want to watch the show. Like, what is this? You know, that's
Well,
that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. And like, also, I want to get your thoughts on this. Like, what do you think about Orange Cassidy competing in the world title match at a pay-per-view?
It should have happened after he beat Jericho. That should have been the Full Gear match. After he beat Jericho, they should have just done it then. That's really like all I can say about it. It should have been, or not even at Full Gear. I'm not even gonna say that. They should have had Moxley squash Cassidy like 2 weeks after on Dynamite. They could build up this big Dynamite show that's like a pay-per-view but not a pay-per-view, and just have Moxley kill Orange Cassidy in like an 8-minute match. You know, they didn't need to. I don't know. That's what should have happened, but now he's got no momentum. He beat Chris Jericho, the biggest star in AEW, their first champion, you know, and what did he do after that? He put his hands in his pockets and got thrown into a video game by Rusev. And what has he done the last 8 months after beating Chris Jericho?
Not a whole hell of a lot, you know. It's like I'm watching this and like, dude, you have Kenny Omega carrying these segments. Like, he's taking off Orange Cassidy's sunglasses. He's like putting his own sunglasses on. And I'm seeing, you know, people making videos on this, people tweeting about this, how Orange Cassidy's the perfect star to push in this main event setting when crowds are back. He's going to be so over. I'm like, okay, you know, you do you, I guess. Maybe AEW is just not for me, Kevin. I guess if the main event scene is Adrian Neville versus Omega versus a dude who puts his hands in his pockets, you know, like
I don't mind Pac and Omega because those two have good chemistry.
Yeah, that works, but if they're having the Solar Monster versus Neville versus Omega, that's the main event of the pay-per-view. Also, so it probably won't main event because the Stadium Stampede 2 will, or whatever. But it's like, really, Kevin, really? I don't know.
Yeah, AEW. I mean, I like it. I like what AEW does. There's just so much. There's so much that I don't like. Like, I wish I could just turn on AEW and enjoy the show, but I just can't. I just, when you're 20 minutes into the show and you got Cody trying to end racism in front of 900,000 people on a TNT audience, like, that's gonna turn a lot of people off. Regardless if you agree or not with what Cody said, there are people that are gonna see that promo and they're never gonna watch AEW again, simply because of what Cody said. You know, that it's just the reality. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like AEW. I want to really like the show, but they make it easy for themselves to, you know, be critiqued and criticized. Like, some of this stuff, Cody, as you say, Kevin, trying to end racism in front of 900 beards at Bailey's place. You know, like, get out of here, dude. That's not it. You know, the Young Bucks in these blade job choreographed matches, and I never know. Yeah,
the Young Bucks character now is that they wear Jordans and they dress up like Shawn Michaels from 1995. That's what they are now. It's amazing. I watched this and I think, how in the hell did these four guys start a company that's the biggest competition to WWE? How did these four guys sell out a 15,000 seat arena at Vegas? How did we go from that, where you have Bret Hart presenting the AEW title, you got Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, you got the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros? How did we go from that to now 2 years later you have Matt Jackson doing a mockery of Shawn Michaels, "I'm sorry, I love you," while Christopher Daniels is blading where you can see the razor, and then Cody's trying to end racism? How did we get to this point with AEW? I don't understand. Like, what is going on?
Look, I don't know. And also, to address some things in the chat now, when it comes to Raw, yes, CR21, Kofi Kingston did beat Randy Orton and he did beat Lashley in the same night. So, Kevin, what are your thoughts on Kofi Mania part whatever now? Like, I guess that's a thing, you know?
Wait, what?
So on Raw tonight, Kofi Kingston beat Randy Orton and he beat Lashley.
Wait, he beat what? They had like a triple threat match or something?
No, he beat Randy in a singles, and then there was a main event with BS, Shenanigans, MVP, and McIntyre getting all involved. And I guess Kofi Kingston has pinned Lashley in a non-title match. I guess that's the thing.
So we're gonna get Kofi.
hold up. Is Kofi the champ? Oh, this is, you can tell we're live right now.
Wait, hold on.
What?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. No, he's getting a title shot probably. I guess that's what they're doing. But yeah, like, okay. Kofi pins Lashley on the Raw after Backlash or whatever. Right. You know, I guess, Kevin, this is how you try and kill pay-per-view time before SummerSlam when McIntyre wins the title. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't care about Kofi and Lashley. That's nice. Like, great. Good for them. They're gonna have a good match. You know, like I'm not gonna be pissed about it.
Yeah. Also, quick shout out, JB Bands. Yes, AW 2019 greater than AW 2020, which is greater than AW 2020. Yeah, pretty much. At this rate, AW 2022, Kevin, not looking like it's gonna be the greatest product at this rate, but you know.
No, oh no. Yeah, I'm fixated by. I'm just fixated on how AEW has gotten to this point. I don't understand. They're a shell of themselves, and they've only been in business for 3 years. I don't know.
Kevin, we can do, or either of us can do for our channels, the rise and fall of AEW, and do this big documentary on them, and then get the whole wrestling Twitter crowd to hate us. I mean, that'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure. yeah, people will love that. I mean, shoot, I gotta go watch Miz and Mrs. Pal, so I can review the Miz's vasectomy for all of you. If you guys want to see me review the Miz's vasectomy, just hit the W's in the chat.
Yeah. Also, legit, I just want to mention this. We've got 2 Ultimate Burials in the can. We've recorded. Kevin, can I let this out for the Elite Hate listeners, or is this confidential?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so we've recorded Ultimate Burials for Charlotte Flair and the much anticipated Ultimate Burial of Finn Balor. We're just wondering, which one do you guys want to see first? Do you want to see that this week? Do you want to see either of them this week? Let us know. If you want to see the Ultimate Burial of Finn Balor, please spam W's in the chat. So with that being said, Kevin, any closing words about either WrestleMania Backlash, AEW, Miz getting a vasectomy, anything? Go on.
I'll just say this: when it comes to WrestleMania Backlash, what I don't know. What is this with zombies? You got, oh God, you got zombies. I'm like hitting my head on my microphone right now. Wow. Why people pay money for this? I just don't understand. I just don't get it. People pay money to watch the Miz get eaten by zombies. More power to them.
Yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. We had a pretty consistent about 10 to upwards like 16, 17 in the house the whole stream. So pretty good stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed. Go check out Elite Hate on Anchor and Spotify and all our other many platforms are on, because we're trying to grow over there as well, pal. So yeah, Kevin, it's been fun roasting Backlash, pal.
Yeah, peace out, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you all at the best. And everybody wants to see Charlotte get buried. So if you want to see Charlotte get buried, make sure to like this video, leave a comment, just, make it obvious.
Yeah, get this Elite Hate to 20 likes and we'll drop it this week. So yeah, easy.